Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Georgie. I'm from Procreate, and I'm here with the amazing Angela today, who is going to live stream some plein air painting for us. We have Lol in the comments as well. Lol is from Procreate as well. She's going to be talking to you guys, moderating the chat, taking any questions we are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Please leave them in the comments. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Georgie. I'm from Procreate. All right, and I'm here with the amazing Angela today.
Oh, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks, Procreate and Georgie, for having me do this. I'm going to be painting a car scene today, and I left the link in the chat room as well, just in case you guys want to access it a little bit easier. I'm going to be going through my process in an hour to 2 hours, and I'm really hoping that you guys can paint along because I feel like that's the best way to learn. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited. I'm really excited to be here with everyone. Cool. Okay, so do you guys all have the reference image pulled up? Georgie, I don't know if you want to paint with me as well.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
I should grab my iPad actually. Dang, I left it in the other room. Usually it's around. Oh no, there it is. Sweet.
Awesome. Okay, so the car scene I'm painting today was a photo that I took from Cuba. Usually I like painting images that kind of have like something special to me. So this is kind of like a hidden gem that I found when I was walking around the streets. This was like a really small alleyway, and I just really liked the way the dappled lighting was hitting the tree. I mean, not the tree, the car. So generally speaking, when I first start painting, I like to set this medium tone. So I'm just gonna set it as kind of a cooler color because it's the sky, and then the ground is kind of cooler, and the car is definitely really cool too. And I really like to simplify the image first, so I kind of have this big statement that I want to convey. So let me sketch that out first. And yes. Okay.
Poe, yes, the reference is my mic off? Yeah, it is. No, that's fine. Cool. The reference is linked in the chat somewhere. Where did that go? Not sure. Lol, could you please post the reference link in the chat again for Poe so that you can grab the artwork, or the photo rather?
So when I'm drawing my images, I think it's very important for at least me to establish the horizon line. So this is kind of what I'm doing right now. Just looking at the image, I think it's a little bit higher than the car. Sometimes I'll switch it up. Right now we're kind of lucky because I could like paint from photos, but when I'm plein air painting, it's really important to me like to first look for the horizon line, simplify the shapes, and really think about like that big statement I mentioned earlier. And yeah, so trying to make the car the most important character in this. So I'm just sketching it out. Looks kind of weird right now, but I'll make it work later. Hope you guys trust me for that.
I think while you're doing that, Angela, so you're saying that, you're looking at it and you've got the horizon line and everything. Mm-hmm. How did you train that ability to draw from observation? Are you formally trained? Is it something that you taught yourself?
I actually studied transportation design before in college, and then I switched over to entertainment design. So they were really like heavy on perspective and everything. I feel like it really helped me, but like learn design language, but kind of made my drawings a little bit stiff. So it took a long time to break that habit. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Transportation design. That's really interesting. I had no idea that you had that background.
Yeah, I don't draw cars anymore because they're too hard. They make me lose my self-esteem.
Oh, no way.
The other thing that I like looking for too when I'm doing plein air painting is if there's like any gestures or rhythm that I could have to help guide the viewer's eyes. So when I was looking at this photo, I really liked how, as you can see here, I tried to make the tree point towards the car. there's kind of a directional pointing element from the building due to the perspective. And then I'm gonna cheat it so the dappled lighting is going to lead the viewer's eye from like the foreground. So maybe I'll have like a very big ellipse that will get thinner, not only to tell perspective, but it'll help us guide our eye there. So usually when I start painting from life, I would start off with a black and white thumbnail, but we'll just stick with the sketch today. And the reason why I like doing the black and white thumbnail too is because it reminds you of what your initial idea was. Do you plein air paint a lot, Georgie, or?
I'm terrible at it. It's something that I'd love to be. I'd love to be able to plein air paint. But I just like, I think colors are really hard for me. I love picking my own colors and working with color palettes for my own art and stuff. But when it comes to like having to paint something from observation, I find it really difficult to pick the correct colors that I'm seeing, without being like totally obvious, like I'm looking at something and I know that, for example, the wall in my lounge room here, I know that that's white technically, but I can't make that connection in picking that, okay, well, that corner up there perhaps needs to be a bit cooler because that's away from the light source there, and the light source I can see directly in front of me is a lot warmer. I can see that, but I can't translate to picking that color in Procreate, for example. Maybe I need to do it more. That's the key, right?
I really liked your abstract pieces, so I think you're great at color. But it's just all this stuff just takes a little bit more practice, and the more you do, it just gets easier. So, but like you obviously understand all the concepts, so I think that's already like really ahead,
It's part of my job, I guess. It's like, it's really annoying because I went all through high school. I was like a lot of us, right? I was that kid who would sit and draw in the margins and just like continually draw all through my class. And then there was a period of about directly after high school, about 5 years, maybe 5, 6, 7 years, where I just didn't draw at all.
Why?
And then I kind of got back into it. And then I got this job with Savage and Procreate, and I'm surrounded by artists all day and I get to draw a little bit. But the problem with being surrounded by so many fantastic creatives every day is that now I understand perfectly, theoretically, how everything works and how to do the thing, but I don't have the practical skills to do it. So it's a really, really horrible situation to be in, I guess, or I'm like, oh, I can understand everything, but I just can't do it.
Well,
so
you can
that's
do
where
it
I'm
with
at.
me today, right now.
I absolutely will.
Yeah, but it's really hard. I feel like our brains always learn a lot faster than how we could kind of put it down in paper. So it's kind of frustrating.
It can be really difficult.
Yeah, and then I feel like when you're learning something new, it pushes you into like this art block because then you're trying new stuff. And then you have like this awkward teenage phase for your art again. And it's just like constant.
You'll love those awkward teenage phases of art. It's the best.
Yeah.
For me, that was totally my around age 14, where I'm like a lot of people, again, totally into drawing like anime characters and stuff.
Anime, I love it.
Just excellent. Just, everyone has that phase, I think. Most people have that phase.
I was a secret anime lover.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
A secret anime lover.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, will it seem not cool if I like anime?
Oh, what's your favorite? Your favorite anime?
I just watched Demon Slayer. I think that's what it's
Oh.
called. Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm pretty bad at remembering things, but that was really cool.
I'm the same though. Like I'll watch TV shows with my partner Adam, and he'll be like, hey, remember that episode, like episode 3 from series 5 back like 6 months ago, and how this happened? And I'm like, no, I don't remember that at all.
I
but
like
sure.
that with Kaylee too. And she's like, dude, we seriously watched this. I'm like, no, we didn't.
Did we? What?
Yeah.
Demon Slayer's on my list of things to watch. Haven't got around to it yet.
It's pretty good. I really liked it. So right now I'm just trying to get like establish a color relationship so I can understand how my colors fit in. This is generally how I work. I need to really understand how the colors interact with each other, and I find that really helpful for me. Do you usually block everything in when you're painting, Georgie, or?
I kind of have a really chaotic process, I think, for my drawing. I'll sketch some stuff and then I'll get bored of sketching, so I'll start inking it, and then I'll get bored of inking and I'll start coloring it, but I haven't even finished the sketch yet. So kind of goes all over the place.
Oh,
I think that's what interests me so much about plein air and watching you paint as well, Angela, is that I can just see all of the things being created with blocks of color, almost from the get-go. Like I know you have that little sketch there, but to be able to create things from blocks of color is something that is really, really cool to me.
cool. Yeah. It's really hard for me to like. I think I'm gonna have to adjust this several times because just looking at the reference image. But yeah, please be patient with me. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of going through an art block right now, but I hope I can do a really good job for all of you guys right now.
I'm sure it will be very good in the end. You never disappoint.
Thank you.
So how do you deal if you're feeling like you're going through a little bit of art block now? How do you deal with that? Because it's obviously something that affects a lot of artists.
Um, I think my method is not healthy. I just try to push through it. And then, but, right. And then because of COVID, we haven't had the opportunity to go out and travel.
Yeah.
So I think it's been really hard for me this past year. But usually I would go to like a national park and hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like just taking a break and not looking at art constantly sometimes really helps.
Yeah. I think being in the online space a lot of the time, it can be really overwhelming if you're seeing all of this amazing art going on around you and you're like,
I know.
yeah.
I was like, can you guys like take a break with me so I can? Yeah. Okay, so
Gary in the chat, sorry to interrupt you there. Gary would like to know, how do you typically go about identifying the location of the horizon line? Because that's something that he has difficult pinpointing sometimes.
oh, that's a like really cool question. And I what I do is I try to find two major points. So if I were to look at this image here, just the one I drew, I'm cheating the perspective a little bit, but I'm just gonna make sure that these major lines here kind of connect to the same spots. And that usually helps me kind of like guesstimate where the horizon line is.
Just to answer, and oh, on even dans le piscine. That's a long screen name for YouTube. Yes, the replay will be available later. So we'll be doing this today with Angela, saving the video, and it will be uploaded later for you to watch. And we'll let you know on social media when it's available again. So 1 a.m. where you are, go to sleep. It's totally fine.
Thanks for coming at 1 a.m. That's crazy. I really appreciate it. So right now, like I'm trying to play with the colors a little bit. I want to keep the most saturated area for this car because it's going to be my main character. I'm going to try to see how I can use the saturation to play with that idea. And I'm going to keep everything pretty gray this time. I'm trying a few new techniques this month, and hopefully it'll pay off.
We're getting a few questions about what brushes you're using.
Oh, so I made these brushes.
Ooh.
Yes. This one is my color pencil brush. I really like it when brushes have jagged edges. It makes me feel like I'm an illustrator.
That's a good point there, everyone. I'm just going to chuck the link for the brushes in the description of the video. So if you'd like to go and have a look at them there, you can.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, when I'm doing like this part of the painting, I'm not really worried about the details. I'm keeping in mind like where the horizon line is. So later on when I detail it, I know how to put the light spots or the dark spots in the correct area. But I think it's really important to have this established color relationship first. So when you're adding like the details, you'll know exactly what feels right in which area. I also like to think about like the theories Georgie was talking about earlier, like, oh, okay, exactly is the sun? Okay, because of that, there's going to be more warmth towards this surface and it's going to get cooler as it goes further away. So I'm constantly juggling a few thoughts in my mind. And I think it's really important to, yeah, ask yourself what color is the light source? What color are the items in your environment, and how does the light source affect the way that the objects feel in your space? I also think a really good exercise if you guys are trying to get better at color is doing still lifes, because you can control the way the lighting is, and it doesn't change as much as a landscape. Like you would probably have to go out at the same time just to make sure the lighting is the same, and that's not fun.
Mm.
Yeah.
We've got another question in the chat here, which relates really to colors and color theory. Mori asks, even when the value is similar, when I try to mix warm and cool colors like you, it looks muddy. Do you have any tips?
That's a really good question. James Gurney kind of talked about this before. He says if the colors are feeling kind of muddy, then your temperatures aren't really right. So I really like painting with this type of scale. The reason being is because, like, for example, if I wanted to choose a yellow, I know that if I shift it more towards this way, it gets cooler. And if I shift it towards the red, it becomes warmer. So I'll put it down for you guys so you could see. So this is kind of like a cadmium yellow. And then this is like cadmium yellow, lemon yellow. So you could tell that the temperatures are extremely different. It's color is kind of complex if you make it that way. So I think the easiest way to think about it is just the different ranges each color has, because there's a gazillion ranges within these, and then just try to simplify it. Like be more extreme first, and then you can come in and then chisel it down so it's easier for you to understand.
I hope that helps, Maury. I think that was cool for me. Excellent response. Yeah, just to reiterate what Lol is saying in the chat there, SKR. There's no dedicated thread for Procreate users on Procreate's channel where we can kind of share our attempts at these live draws. But if you wanted to post them to social media, you could tag Angela, you could tag us. And as Amanda Lappert has said in the comments there, you could also join the Warrior Painters Discord.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Amanda. Yeah. Oh,
which would be really cool. You guys are doing some really awesome stuff in the plein air and painting space, aren't you?
yeah.
Warrior painters.
It's really fun. I feel so inspired. You know, I'm always about to give up on my plein air ball, but then I see everyone's posts and I'm like, oh my God, I can't be lazy. And yeah, it's been like even crazier because you guys are supporting us this time and sponsoring a gift. So we all really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Aw, you guys, we're so excited to be involved.
Everyone was like, oh my God. They couldn't believe it.
No, so much fun. And it's been awesome to see everyone tagging us as well in their plein air paintings that are coming up every week.
Yeah.
It's awesome. If you guys in the chat aren't involved, you totally should be. You can go to the Warrior Painters Instagram page and find the rules and stuff. And you just do a plein air every day. And then you tag everyone. And if you're lucky, you might get shared on the Procreate channel as well. So just a heads up.
Oh my gosh, I told so many of my friends that you guys shared, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the first time I'm like so excited. And then they painted even harder the day they saw it. So if you look at what I just did, it's kind of like simple. I blocked in the back side of the car, but the only reason why I knew about it is because I know that the horizon line is like up here. So that's why I think it's really important for you guys to really figure out how your perspective is working. That way you could apply it to how you quote unquote detail your image. And after I'm done blocking in the general color relationships, I think this feels about okay. So I could push it even more to make it feel even more sunny. But I think this feels okay. So after I established everything, this is the time where I come in and I'm like, okay, let's break this up even more. I know that this is a blue. When I'm comparing it to the car, so this is how I figure out the colors and then the temperatures of each color. I look at similar colored objects within my image and then I compare it. So if you guys are looking at the reference image, I know that the sky's a little bit blown out. So I'm going to just use my artistic license to edit that. I'm going to make it kind of more teal because I feel like even though this is a cooler blue, I want it to have like a bigger contrast. So I'm just
Huge fan of teal.
Yeah, I love teal too.
So good.
Yeah. Just doing this. And I love how Procreate has a smudge tool because then I don't have to think about the in-between colors because I get lazy sometimes.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Little smudge tool doesn't get enough love.
Do you use it a lot or?
I don't personally know. The stuff that I do is usually very block colory.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something that I give a lot of love to, but it's pretty cool still. The new blur settings in the brush library as well, in the brush studio that were released with the last update.
Yeah.
Also super cool way to smudge things.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet. You know, I'm like really bad at technologies. I have a few friends on the server. And I'm like, oh, Anthony or Franklin, can you guys please help me out with the brush functions? And they're really nice. They help me out with that stuff.
No.
But I'll check it out after.
Speaking of, they've just popped up in the chat as well. So.
Hey guys, thanks for joining. So yeah, like when you guys squint your eyes now, you could kind of see a general picture. I'm gonna reserve the vertical lines of the fence for the last, but I think so. Squinting at my image and then squinting at the reference image, it feels about the same. So I think I'm happy with the setup right now.
We had a question earlier in the chat, which is probably really relevant now as we start to move past the initial color blocking stage. Jebois asked, how do you know the fine line between too much detail and keeping that simplicity?
So personally for me, I think what I like about painting, there's not really a certain like, oh, it's definitely finished or it's not. I think that's based off of your own personal preference. So if you're like tired with the piece, then just stop. Yeah, that's how I usually know that like I'm done. Unless it's for like a job, then I know that there's like a certain amount of polish I need. But I like to try to apply different types of finishes for each of my pieces. And the more you try with the different types of finishes, the more you'll know what you gravitate towards.
Yeah, nice.
Art's so hard. I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like because there's like no right answer, it makes it really difficult to know if you're on the right track or the wrong track.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think it kind of comes down to the whole the age-old question of how do I find my style as well, right? Like there's no one way to do that. There's no one way to do art. So just play until it feels good.
Yeah, and it's so fun, but it hurts so bad.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Thanks, guys, for jumping in the chat and helping out with the brush question again.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Just to reiterate, yeah, Jay, the brush are linked in the description for the video, so you can go and grab them there if you'd like.
Do you use any fancy brushes, Georgie?
Not really. I'm a big fan of just like the default HB pencil. I'm really liking dry ink for inking lately.
Nice.
I have a couple custom brushes that I've made that have blend modes that I use specifically for lighting and shading. I've played with Max Ulichny's brushes, of course,
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
his brushes are so good.
Oh
I
yeah.
love them.
I think they come up in every stream, I think now.
Yeah, we need to tell him to
Oh.
stop being so good at making the brushes.
Ah, God damn it, Max.
I know.
But yeah, I have a pretty small range of brushes that I use on the daily. Um,
Yeah, me too.
it's
I feel
always
like
nice to be able to play with new brushes, though. Occasionally we get some brush authors who are like, I've made new brushes, and I'm like, yeah, and I play with them and they're super cool, and then I just never get to use them again because my art is very one-dimensional when it comes to brushes.
oh,
But that's
interesting.
fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, so many people joining in. Hey, everyone who's just joining us.
Hello, thank you for joining. Oh, thank you for the payment. That might pop up a few times now. I'm sorry.
Except people buying the brushes.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so for the background, I'm just going to keep it really simple. I know there's like a lot of detail there and I could go crazy, but I'm going to choose not to. Gonna organize my layers. I always get really confused about my layers sometimes.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is like um a kind of like art porn for everyone watching, I guess. Like, how do you go around organizing your layers? How do you do this? Do you use lots? Do you use little? Do you merge them? What's up?
So sometimes I feel like when I have a really clear mind, I could just use like one layer.
Whoa.
Yeah, but there are days where I'm really struggling, and when you have those bad days, you really regret not organizing your layers more. So
Hmm.
when I feel like I'm having a bad day, I just like go crazy, and then I just layer it like back to front. I don't have any specific method. I just think about it as like foreground, middle ground, and background. Yeah, that might be because working in animation, especially when you're drawing like layouts or backgrounds, you really have to have that clear separation for the painters. And I think that's how I
Yeah.
learned to organize my files.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Do you have a special method? I like hearing this too because I'm
No.
always like, I wonder how people layer their stuff.
Well, it's so interesting because everyone does it so differently. And we've streamed with artists who use one layer. We've streamed with artists who use heaps. We've streamed with, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Max again, or maybe it was Nicholas Cole. I can't remember one of them who paints on their layers and then just merges them all into one. And they kind of did it near the start of the stream, and everyone in the chat was going, no, no, just sent everyone into a crazy panic. And they were like, yeah, guys, it's fine. Like, it's okay. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh, it was so like, it was terrifying though. I'm sitting on the stream as well, just going, oh, how?
It's okay, guys. I'm not that cool, so I'm gonna be doing a few layers today.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh! Thank you, guys. Yeah, I think the color pencil is my favorite. I don't go too crazy in the beginning with textures because I feel like that for me it distracts a lot of what I'm trying to do, and I think I need really crisp, clean edges for me to understand what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, we've got people in the chat jumping in with how many layers they use.
Oh,
Oh,
ha,
Taylor says one layer.
show off!
Adana says 50 plus at the start and then five at the end.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I like to merge in the end, so because I don't know, I get confused easily too.
Ah, yeah. Shiho says, thanks for answering that. I was curious about the layers as well. It's such an interesting part of people's process. Like, maybe we need to ask that of every artist who streams now. First of all, how do you organize your layers?
Because we're not judging you, but we are definitely judging you. Oh, so I think I'm a fake neat person. So I'm like, okay, I'll make my final file look really neat. But, it's definitely not like that through the entire process.
Oh,
So right now, when I'm adding the dappled lighting details, I'm also keeping in mind where the horizon line is. So it's about here. I'm gonna make sure that these points kind of match the perspective because when you're drawing space, I think you'll need areas to help ground your space. And like whether it's the dappled lighting or the way that these dappled shapes are going, like it's always a great excuse to use it to help ground everything even more. Okay, I'm gonna use the dappled lighting on a separate layer. So
Oh,
when you,
Emmanuel
mhm.
names all of his layers.
Oh my
Goodness, that
gosh,
is organization.
no thank you. That's too much for me.
No, no,
But good
thank you.
job. You're really organized. That's really good. That's really good for production.
Uh, I'm gonna go because this is the user with the really long YouTube handle. We're just gonna call you Dans la piscine. Dans la piscine asks if you've got a little bit of color dynamics in there as well, right?
Yes, I do. I love color dynamic, but it's very little. So I have
Mm.
one that's even crazier, but I when I'm blocking everything out, I kind of like that noise. It makes everything feel a little bit nicer. So when you guys are squinting your eyes and looking at the dappled light, um, I don't know if you guys notice, but it's not that intense in value. So you could block it in with very intense value and color first, but just keep it in mind that when you guys are like going to detail it, try to make it like less crazy afterwards and make it more subtle. Georgie, what kind of slider do you use on Procreate?
For the colors,
Yeah.
I'm a the square color picker window thing.
This one.
And honestly, I've only just got into using the sliders for it. Like, it probably goes back to the whole why can't I choose my colors properly thing is I'm just kind of like looking at the square and being like, yeah, it looks right. And then it's not. But yeah, like using the sliders has been really helpful to me recently. Um, but also a really big fan of directly color picking from images if I'm using reference. I'm just, as I said, I'm not good at picking colors yet. I'm getting there, guys.
I like your colors. Yeah, so as you guys can see right now, I'm trying to think about a way to help me guide the eye a little bit more. So even though your photo reference isn't like helping you completely, but you could always choose what you want to do. So I'm going to have like a trunk shape here later, more subtle, and then one more here. So then like you can't look at anything else but this car. And when I'm doing plein air painting, since usually lighting changes every 15 minutes, I really have to establish the color shapes and then all the other stuff because it changes too much. And one thing when you guys are painting live in from like real life, don't chase the light. That's the best advice I could give you guys. Have a design, stick to it, and just use what's in front of you as reference to continue to detail it. I'm gonna start adding a little bit more detail on the car.
Monique, same. She says, I wish I could paint and talk at the same time.
I'm struggling.
I'm not great at it. I'm like, since I've been kind of watching the live stream and looking at the chat, like my painting that I started to draw along is still in the sketch phase. Like I'm nowhere. How are you guys going in the chat? Are we drawing along? I'm sure they'll get the answer to that in a second.
Okay.
Tiny delay on the YouTube stream.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's really hard for me. So thank you for talking more because I feel like sometimes I really struggle with talking and painting at the same time as well.
It's hard. It's like tapping your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time, right?
Yeah, I'm still not good at that, even though I learned it in like kindergarten.
What?
Yeah, they're like, "Could you do this, Angela?" And I was like, not really coordinated. So So one thing I know for sure, just by looking at this picture, is that the light source is kind of like this. That's why I'm enhancing this area of the car for it to be the lightest. And even though, like, if you guys look at the reference again, there's areas, pockets of light here. And then, like, this rim catches it. Don't make it as bright because you really want to sell this delicious shininess here. So reserve all your highlights for special areas because if you add highlights everywhere, it makes everything else not so special. Painting's all about like contrast. So how can you make something stand out more? And you just have to constantly think about reserving things for specific areas.
Mm. I'm so sorry, by the way, guys, if you hear any strange noises in the background of my audio. I do have a gaming headset on, so hopefully that minimizes it, but my two dogs have just decided to start a game behind me. So
I thought that was my stomach. I'm just joking.
I mean, it does kind of sound like a stomach growling, so like, thanks for trying to take that one, Angela, but I will let you guys know that yes, it is two dogs in the background having a very good time.
I locked my dogs outside because I know they would go crazy.
I thought these guys would be okay because it's the morning. We haven't done anything exciting yet, but clearly they're just ready to go.
Like, it's the weekend, take me out.
They're like, yeah, let's go. Let's play a game. Let's do some training. Let's go for a stroll.
Oh, I love dogs.
Oh, I've said the word. Oh no. Whoops.
Did they tilt their head and they're like,
They
what?
did. They're very excited now. Whoops. That was a mistake.
Okay, that's my dog. Sorry, guys.
Someone says, Taylor says, that's okay. We're used to dogs barking. Excellent. Very good.
Gosh, Taylor, thank you.
Tick says in the comments that she's amazed by how small the image is on the screen. I constantly go in really close up, but I guess that helps keep it loose. Do you usually draw zoomed out like a thumbnail size, Angela?
Yes, and I forgot to turn this on because I was so nervous. Wait, not drawing guide, sorry, reference. But I always have this up when I'm painting. When go detail it later on, it really helps me not lose the bigger picture. So I really recommend the reference window.
I think that was such a, like, it is, other programs have had the reference window for a while now, but it was so exciting when it came to Procreate. Like, I remember when the engineers were like, yeah, we're going to do the reference window, and everyone at work was just like, oh, so cool. And I love that you can color pick from it as well directly.
What? I did not know
what?
that.
You didn't know that? You can color pick from the reference window. Surprise!
Oh my gosh, I learn something new every day. This is why I love life.
God. It's you have to use your finger. It doesn't work with Apple Pencil, but if you hold your finger down on it, yeah, you can pick the color.
Oh my God, my mind is so blown right now. Yeah, the first time you guys had this, I think it was the first image I did, and I was like freaking out because I was like,
oh, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first piece we worked with you on.
Yeah, and I told Kaylee, I'm like, Kaylee, look at this. They have a reference photo. That's so cool. And she's like, I don't get it. Because she's not an artist. So.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like, I don't get it, but I'm happy.
She's like,
you're
okay,
happy.
cool.
Yeah.
So happy for you.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit like my partner as well. I come home and I'm so excited about something that's happened in the art world or at Procreate. And he's like, I'm so happy that you're excited about this.
It's like, but I don't understand.
Don't quite understand it. It's nice that he's so excited about it for me, though.
Yeah, she's the same way. I love Kaylee. Yeah. So yeah, I think zooming out, or I could use this nice little window here. It feels kind of like the right time of day. I'm gonna push it even more by making the lights even lighter. Let's see if that works for me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I also really like this function, how you have like the old color, so I could really check the values.
Oh yeah.
I think that's super hacks. I love it.
Lizzie asks, I don't know if she's asking you or me or everyone in the chat, Everyone can answer this question. What's your favorite feature of Procreate?
Um, I'm really basic when it comes to programs, so I actually really like the brush engine. I think that's my favorite.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember for a while like I didn't know how to use it, but after asking around, it just fell in love with it so much. I was telling
so many
someone,
options.
yeah, I was like, oh, Procreate doesn't have color dynamics, does it? And my friend was like, yes, it does, and let me show you. And I'm like, oh my god,
Wait, what?
yeah. And then I had to
I
watch a
think,
bunch of YouTube tutorials to figure
oh
out.
yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, YouTube.
I think for me it's quick shape still. I think that's been my favorite thing since it was released. I think it was very soon. Well, it wasn't too, it was maybe like a year after I started working at Procreate. Yeah,
Wait,
quick shape. It's just like it's magical. I just
what's
love it so
what's
much.
quick shape?
Oh, Angela. Oh no.
I know.
It's
Like I said, I'm
what?
so basic. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
goodness. It's like, I mean, I suppose it wouldn't really come up that often when you're doing plain air, I guess. It's you draw a shape and you hold at the end of that shape and it snaps to a perfect shape.
Oh, okay. I use that. Okay, I didn't
Oh,
know
cool. Okay, yeah, no,
that.
good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. No, we good then. We good.
Okay, yeah. I'm like I don't know the terms of these things.
Shiho, yes, the reference window should work with the smaller iPad. You won't have, if you're working on, oh no, iPad Pro. Yeah. Yeah. So if you go to modify or the actions menu, the little wrench, and go to canvas, and you'll find reference, and you can toggle that on.
Yeah, so it's here, Shiho. Yeah, canvas reference, and you just click this cute little button, and it'll appear.
Nice. Hey, oh, sorry guys. Dogs, stop. Stop.
I couldn't really hear them. I mean, my birds are probably way worse.
The birds are there. No, it's all good. They're not being super loud. It's just the little one. She has small dog syndrome. So if you let it go on too much, she gets a little bit nasty sometimes. They're having a great time.
That's so cute. Do you like halloumi?
What? Halloumi?
Yeah, oh, halloumi. Okay, I always pronounce it wrong.
It might be Australian versus American. This is all good. We had a discussion about this in Q&A Friday yesterday with different word pronunciations.
Oh yeah, I watched it. It was so funny. I loved it.
Yes, I love halloumi. Obsessed with it. I love how like, it squeaks when you eat it. It's the best.
Yeah, I when I was in Australia, me and Kaylee, we just kept ordering that, and I miss it so much.
Do you not have it in America?
It's not as good. I think you guys have better quality
We
halloumi.
do have a really, really big Greek community in Australia.
So, okay, right now I'm designing the shadow shapes to be like more heavy here. I'm also kind of cheating it, so this could push the brightness even more for this car. Yeah, I really want the car to pop. So I'm also debating right now whether or not I should add the dappled lighting on the building here. I feel like it might distract from it, so I'll come back to it later. I like to avoid conflict, and I save the hardest questions for the last every time I'm painting.
Sorry, it's
Oh
just
no, no, it's so cute. I love dogs.
growls in the background.
Do they play with each other?
They do. That's what they're doing now currently.
Uh, my dogs like pretend like they don't exist.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm like, please play with each other.
it's really cute.
Yeah.
It's very, very cute. We got Finch basically as a friend for Atticus because we felt bad leaving him home during the day, and best thing we ever did because they're just the best of friends.
Are they really? How's the age difference?
They're a year different, so
Oh,
pretty close.
perfect.
Yeah, it's good. And similar energy levels, so that's helpful.
Oh, isn't that like a lot to
Or
handle?
not helpful. Yeah, it is a lot to handle when you've got two working dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
working dogs too. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, they don't work, but they're working breeds, so the
Yeah.
energy level is there.
How do you wear them out?
Lots of thinking, lots of brain
Oh,
exercise.
nice, nice.
It's pretty fun, when you have people over and stuff, and the brain exercises have worked out to being that Atticus especially is really quite a show off. He's good at a lot of tricks. So when people come over, we can be like, "Oh, Atticus, nod your head and like
What?
roll
He could
over and
nod
look
his
left and
head?
look right." Yeah, he's really good. He does a little nod when you ask him. He looks left and right, does all these little things as well as your usual shake hands and beg and take a bow and all of that. He's very clever. We're currently teaching him to be able to clean up the house.
Wait, what?
So yeah,
I
Finch
don't
is not
believe
that good at
you.
it yet. It's really cool. He loves learning. It's just again the working dog thing. They just love thinking and doing stuff. Finch is not that great at it yet, but Atticus, um, we can tell him to go and pick up certain toys and bring them back and put them in the basket. So
Oh my
he's
God, that's
learning
so
that at the
cute.
moment.
I have a pretty smart dog, but I think I wasted her smarts by not teaching her anything.
Oh, what breed?
She's a mix. I think she's part border collie, and I'm not too
Oh,
sure what the other one is.
yeah, border collie will do it. That's what Atticus is. So,
Oh, they're really hyper too, so it's a
oh
lot. Yeah.
my God, so much, so much. Sorry, everyone. Dog chat. If you've followed Procreate for any amount of time, probably realize that I am completely dog obsessed. So
Who
I
can
do
blame
tend to get
you?
carried away, right? Dogs are
Yeah,
great. Dogs are
they're
the
the
best.
cutest.
And yes, Tig, it is Atticus and Finch, as in To Kill a Mockingbird. It didn't start off that way, actually. If we just want to go off on a tangent just for a second, I would like to clarify that I didn't actually name my dogs after Atticus and Finch, kind of like with the foresight to do that. We called Atticus Atticus because we liked the name. And then everyone was like, "Oh, like Atticus Finch." And we were like, "No, just Atticus." And then we got Finch and we were like, "Haha, wouldn't it be funny if we called her Finch?" And as soon as we got her and called her Finch, no one made the connection anymore. So now I've just got two dogs called Atticus and Finch, and no one gets it. So
That's funny.
there we go.
So,
Uh,
oh,
yes, Dunlapisi, he does play dead. Both of them play dead.
what? I
They're
can never
very
get my
dramatic
dogs.
about it too. It takes a lot of bullets to kill them.
So I just changed the color of this ground, and I feel like it's working more. Sometimes, like if you guys are feeling uncertain about a certain color, maybe you can go in, especially with layers, not one layer. You could come in and try to shift the temperatures a little bit. I really like doing that.
Unknown says, "How long have you been drawing?"
So I started when I was 16, so it's been a while now. I'm not going to reveal my age. Sorry, guys. But it's been a while. And I was very drawing heavy, and I didn't really start to get into painting until like maybe 5 years ago. So,
Really?
yeah. I always avoided painting because I just could not understand it. Do you like
I'm
to draw
always so
more
surprised.
or paint
Sorry.
more? Oh, do you like to draw more or paint more?
Uh, I guess draw more because I just don't have those painting skills that I theoretically understand at this stage. So yeah, I guess I draw more. But uh, what was it? There was a question. I was going to say something. I've
Oh,
completely
sorry for
sidetracked
cutting
because
you
now,
off.
no, it's not you. It's that Atticus has reappeared, and he's put his head in my lap, and he's giving me Disney eyes, and it's very cute.
Oh my god. I
He's
hate it when my
begging for
dog does
pats.
that.
Oh, no, that's what I was saying. Yeah, 5 years. I'm so surprised at how many artists that we've met or worked with in the past couple of years who are actually relatively new to painting. It's
I
really surprising.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
think
think painting's just too scary.
that's really strange though, because like, I mean, I'd have said that looking at your work, I'd have totally said that you'd been painting for more than 5 years. Like, it's just
Thank you.
bizarre to me.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I painted for sure, like in college and everything, but I
Yeah.
just don't think I was too good. And I think because I was just so afraid of it myself, I just pretended, like, oh, like drawing's more important, right? So I just found excuses to avoid it. So I just added in the fence. I wanted to see what kind of shapes it would create, and I actually kind of like it. I think it helps me really highlight the car even more. But I'm gonna make it darker as it fades away from the light. I hope everyone's doing well on their painting. And this one's simple but kind of hard. It's weird.
I can't wait to see them all at the end. You guys have to post them to social media and tag us all.
Yeah, can't wait to see it.
Maybe it could be your plein air painting for this day of plein April.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch it up a little bit more if I can't finish it now, just to make myself look a little bit better. uh,
Bendaroo asks, how much of the final image do you have figured out in your head before starting? Like the composition is probably there, but how much of it is kind of improvised as you go?
yes, that's a really great question too. So colors, I feel like there's not necessarily a way to kind of predict how they're gonna look. So we always have this image in our mind that looks really, really cool, but I feel like I could never accomplish that. Like I feel like the way I imagine it is like when I finish the painting, it's only 40% of what I really thought it would be.
Really?
So yeah, because I think in my mind at least I could simplify it really well, but as I'm getting to a certain area of the painting, I just tend to naturally overcomplicate things, and I'm trying to learn how to not do that. But yeah, did I answer the question? I feel like I went on a tangent and I forgot what the question was.
No, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to hear that only 40% really of the piece is kind of how you saw it at the end.
Yeah, it's just like really frustrating because sometimes I could see that there's issues in my paintings, but I think maybe I'm just not at the level to understand how to fix it yet. So yeah, it sucks. So like, does everyone kind of have a mental image of what they want their picture to be, or do some people just start off just by painting and they don't really think about it?
Oh, that's a good question. We'll wait for the little delay for everyone to tell us in the comments.
How about
Yeah,
you?
interesting kind of processes there. It's like, it depends what I'm doing. I think I don't get a lot of time to draw at the moment, which is sad. But when I do right now, it's because I have had like this really strong sort of, I guess, impression almost of something that I'd like to draw. And I go, okay, well, I have to make time to draw now. It's usually a color palette and almost like a direction, I guess, not like as in art direction, as in like a physical direction, like a flow, I guess, for how I would, the directions that things would flow in the piece, as well as an impression of a color palette. And I go with that. I used
That's so
to kind of
interesting.
just draw with nothing in my mind when I was younger. I don't do that so much anymore, mostly because, yeah, I don't really have the time to sit down and draw unless I have something that I'm like, yeah, I have to get that out.
It's crazy. Like, I think when we're kids, we're just so fearless, right? And
Yeah.
right now we're just like find, at least for me, I'm not saying you, but like for me, I'm constantly finding excuses not to do things. I'm just like, yeah, maybe like I could do that tomorrow because today I don't want to. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I find excuses all the time.
The delay must have caught up now. They're all saying, there's a couple people who just start painting
Oh,
to
that's
see what happens.
crazy. That's
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bit of both. Uh, Aria says, if I plan something, the expectations are too high. That's fair.
Does anyone ever like give up when their expectations are met, or do you guys just try to like tough it out and you know work through it?
Oh, I totally give up. I'm just like, that's not what I imagined. That goes in the whip pile.
Forever whip. I have that pile too.
Yeah, that's it. Jason says, I have an idea, but the image changes as I did something different than planned. Yeah.
Yeah, I read this book. I forgot what book it was, but the author said that just our mind just grows so fast and our abilities sometimes have a difficult time keeping up with it. So I feel like it's really frustrating for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
Like you're supposed to be doing things like this, but then you can't break your old habits. It's weird, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think I've just had a question, a call in from someone at Procreate, Ange.
Yeah.
It's from Tom. And
Hi,
he
Tom.
said, hey, Tom. He says, do you find your digital practice informs new techniques or ideas for your physical practice or vice versa? Has
Yeah.
either changed the other? And if so, how?
That's a really great question. So I definitely feel like doing more gouache paintings has definitely helped me inform my choices of color. And I think the simplicity of digital painting and like just being able to erase and make really clean shapes has helped me, I guess, design a little bit differently than I would. Because in gouache, I would lay something down and then I would have to kind of repaint it each time. But I think because I do that in digital and it's way easier, I kind of figured out how I like to make my forms, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. It's a nice little, uh, I guess, a nice little bit of info about how like, digital and traditional are so different, but they can work in such harmony.
Yeah, it's really great. Like, I've heard many people say, they say, like, if you're stuck with one medium, just try another one. And then that usually can help you think differently and solve a problem differently. So it might help you break out of your funk a little bit.
Yeah. Do you find that you do that? If you're struggling with something, that going to a different medium or trying something completely different can really help? Or do you just kind of hands off art completely when you're struggling?
I like to switch mediums, but sometimes it makes me feel worse too. Like I hate oils. I kind of like it. I mean, it's like a love-hate relationship. But I think that recently doing more oils, it has taught me how to be a little bit more patient. I don't know how to explain it, but it's helping in a way.
Yeah. I've never touched oils, I don't think. No, I never have. They've always seemed so intimidating.
Yeah, I don't know how people do them all the time. Mad respect to all the oily people out there.
I think during lockdown, was it Carla Ortiz that started? Yeah, it was. Carla Ortiz started Oily Fans.
Yeah.
So she was doing live streams of oil painting and had this whole thing going with it. It was awesome. But like, yeah, I mad respect to those people. I could never.
I know that just thinking about the cleanup makes me tired.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I really enjoy about digital is that I don't have to clean up. I'm done. I can
Exactly.
just pack my iPad away.
Yes, yes. I 100% agree with you. Okay.
Atticus is screaming in the hallway. That's fine. Oh, they're going for a walk. Very
Aw,
good.
that's so cute.
Anya loves oil pastels. Actually, yeah, no, I have used oil pastels back in high school.
Oh,
It's like the closest I've got to oil sort
that
of stuff.
that stuff's so hard too, because you
I
kind of
know.
have to like dot it on, right? Kind of like an
Yeah.
impressionist. Okay. Wow. Isn't that really messy?
Yes, I remember it
Okay.
being super messy.
So now I'm using an airbrush to kind of simplify the values a little bit here. This is kind of something I learned from oil painting. I noticed that if my values are too crazy, I could just sand a certain area and it kind of retains everything that you did, but it makes it less contrasty. So this is what I'm trying to go for right now here.
And Karina says, yeah, oils are challenging. Just started practicing with them and it's so different from gouache and other paints.
I
Yeah.
know when I start painting with oils, I'm just like, man, I suck.
Well,
And
they
then,
take, this
uh-huh.
is a really stupid question, but having not used them before, like they take a really long time to dry, right? They're just like, they're malleable for ages.
Yeah, but if you like, what I learned is if you use like the Gamsol, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it helps it dry a little bit faster, so you could like layer it easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's helped me with my process. I know some people don't like to paint like that. They paint wet on wet, which I really can't understand. But
Uh,
there's so many different methods, and I'm glad that I have friends who can teach me how to use it. So they've been really helpful for my oil journey.
oh, Anya, say hi to your dog for us.
Oh, like both of ours or mine?
Oh, no, so Anya in the comment, she just says, I have a dog and her name is Dot.
Oh, okay.
I
Hi,
would really
Dot.
love for you to say hi to Dot for us, please, Anya. Oh, I've got another one from Procreate HQ.
Okay.
How do you overcome a piece that's not working for you? Do you have a process or do you do what just feels right at the time?
So I think I'm super stubborn, and I'm just like, man, I spent like X amount of hours on this. I can't give up, and I just keep working at it. But I think what I like to do is maybe if I'm struggling with a certain piece, I could come back to it like every night rather than focusing on it an entire day.
Hmm.
And I feel like that helps me because then I could see all the errors and see some of the nice spots. Because when you guys are painting, you also have to remind yourself that there are aspects of the paintings that are really cool. So don't just beat yourself up constantly. Think about the positive sides too and what makes you want to continue besides being stubborn. Do you ever have like art pieces that you want to just like, I mean, I know you have the forever whip file, but do you ever try to go back to any?
Yeah, usually.
That's cool.
But I think just because like I'll usually go back to them and have a play with them and then they go back to the work in progress files. It's just I don't know. I feel like being surrounded by so many incredible artists every day, and I
Mm-hmm.
talk to so many incredible artists every day. I feel like my technical knowledge expands so quickly that by the time I go back to those art pieces, even if it's only like a week or two after, I've in my mind progressed further than that piece can kind of reach, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
that
I go
that's a
back
good
and I
point.
play with it and I'm like, yeah, this is not working for XYZ and I can't be bothered fixing it. I'll just start something else.
I see.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So I'm the kind of the same way. I have to finish things kind of within a week or so, or else I'm just gonna give up on it too. Yeah. Yeah. I used to do a lot of gouache paintings, and that would be like after work, I would save about an hour. So I get to space it out a lot, and I think that helped me improve my quality. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I of course I would finish it in a week. So
Oh, that's really cool. How do you go about working on something if you're saying you finish it within a week? How do you go about, because for example, the Procreate commissions, I know they've taken longer than a week.
Yeah.
So how do you go about, I guess, keeping that joy alive, keeping the interest alive when you do have pieces that drag on a bit longer?
Well, for the Procreate piece, it's because I think you guys are really cool and I really want to impress
Oh,
you guys. So I'm just
no.
like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Yeah. So that was how I did those pieces. But like for work, it gets kind of hard for me because I think I like fast paced pieces, but I don't know. It's really difficult to say how, but I guess I just try to push through it, and once it's approved, it's approved. But like, yeah, I think production pieces are slightly different, but I
Yeah.
think commissions are like way more fun. So I actually had a lot of fun doing the Procreate ones, and I didn't lose my interest, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really good to hear.
I mean, I struggled the whole way, but I never lost interest.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
We like working with you too. Ah, David. So I'm not even going to try and repeat that question because it is in Spanish and I don't speak Spanish. But I can understand what you're saying, and I'm really sorry. It would be super cool if we could have explanations and tutorials and stuff in Spanish as well. But unfortunately, as I said, I don't speak Spanish, so I can't do the tutorials in Spanish. I'm so sorry. Hopefully, at some stage in the future, we'll be able to localize a bit more. But for right now, unfortunately, it's English.
Um, what other languages do you guys do? Because I know you guys are like really global. So,
Yeah, I think 2019 we localized to China. So
oh
that was really
wow,
exciting. We've got Mia and Sheila as a part of the social media team, and they run our Chinese social media.
wow.
That's really, really cool. So we've been able to localize our website, our handbook, everything into Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's really close to my heart, I guess, because I did basically all of my schooling, like high school through university, was all foreign language studies.
Uh-huh.
So localization and being more accessible to more people is really important to me and really close to my heart. So it is something that we want to do in the future, localizing to more languages, and it's something that I am pushing for as well.
Wow.
But it's a bit of a slow process, unfortunately, because you've got to find the right people and train them up and have, I guess, a business infrastructure there as well. Because at the moment, we are we're like all sitting on top of each other like sardines basically in the office right now because we've expanded so much and we've outgrown our current office.
Oh man.
So there's just like actually not enough space to put more people, which is a problem.
Oh wow. That's really cool though.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the future, David will be able to help you out with some Spanish tutorials.
Oh man. I'm trying to learn Spanish, but I'm not that good at it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful sounding language. I'd love to learn it. It's not commonly taught in Australia though.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, I mean, I guess because of our place in the world, it's much more common to get Asiatic languages taught in schools
Okay, that makes a lot of
and
sense.
in universities. Yeah. And we still have French and German as well as quite common languages to be taught in schools, but mostly it's Asiatic languages. So yeah.
My dream is to be able to order food with Spanish one day. So,
Oh,
yeah.
good goal. Good goal.
So right now I'm skewing the textures a little bit. Don't know if I'm going to keep all of them, but this is another important thing to remember when establishing your horizon line. So you can have a general perspective to head towards. Do you
Oh, we've
use a
got some
lot
more
of
good
blending?
questions.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
You could
sorry,
ask me
totally
first.
interrupt you there.
No, go ahead.
Okay, okay, all right. So first of all, Bendaru says, Angela has such a clear thinking process in terms of her actual painting process. Have you always painted this way? Personally, I'm so mindless when I paint. Do you have any tips to help fix this?
Um, I think I'm just showing you guys my fake side because I thought about this image a lot. But I think just starting off, maybe thinking about things like in really simple terms, and then you could slowly then divide them up like more and more afterwards. So every single time you guys see an image that interests you, like ask yourself why. That's what I really like to do. And once I have that figured out, then I could go in and break up everything afterwards. So let's just say I was painting a ball, for example, and I'm like, oh, wrong brush, but this is just how I think. Like if I see a ball underneath the blue sky and it's like orange, I'm like, okay, what I really like about this image is how it's like complementary colors. So I'm just gonna make that statement first, and then afterwards I'll think about like, okay, since it's a sunny day, this light's coming from here, and I know that the light is warm, so let's make this lighter area more warmer and intense, and then I can push everything down. So I think about the big picture first, and then I figure out how to paint the objects after. So I'm not trying to constantly think about how to make the rendering work, but it's more about like how can I get the audience to understand what I'm trying to show or paint, and then how can I enhance it through perspective, atmosphere, or color. Yeah. And like
If that answered your question, Bendaru.
Yeah, the simplicity is always the easiest way to get someone to understand something first. And once you have that big idea and statement, it's like easier to then break it up even more. And that kind of goes into that question that was asked earlier, like when do you know when your paintings are finished? Then you can add your like personal taste into your painting and be like, okay, I want to add a little bit more to it, or no, I'm going to stop here. And
yeah. No, that's a really cool way to think about communicating the piece that you're doing. I think that is actually really important and potentially something that gets overlooked by a lot of, especially I think newcomers kind of coming in, is being able to be really clear in your communication rather than trying to kind of get everything into the painting. Is just making sure that that idea is communicated very clearly first.
I definitely fall into that issue a lot, and like even right now sometimes I get really distracted by the details. So just remind yourself of what's important to you in this image and try to stay true to it the whole time. But you know,
Kim
sometimes the highlights on something just look so cool, so I understand.
Good lighting gets me. Just like, yes, when I see a piece or I see something in real life that has really sick lighting, it's just
exactly.
My goodness. Kim asks in the comments, she says, I know you travel a lot, so what location did you enjoy the most doing plein air?
So I always bring my gouache paints, and I'm really lucky that I have a partner that is patient enough to wait for me to paint. You know, I think I went to a few places, but not everywhere was like paintable in terms of plein air, because like Iceland was so pretty, but it just rained so much, so I couldn't paint outdoors. But I think Nice in France was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I also like Barcelona a lot, but Australia was really cool. I got to meet up with some people in Melbourne, and they were just so sweet. And painting with them in St. Kilda was just like, I'll never forget that experience.
Oh, yeah. Let's hope that COVID clears out soon enough where we can all go back to traveling.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I miss it so much.
We got another call in from Procreate HQ.
Okay.
This time sorry, they're all watching as well at home and sending me their questions. It's really cute.
Yay, thank you guys.
This one is from LJ. She says, could you ask Ange about how she helps new painters slash young people think about color in terms of painting. Obviously, every time you pick a color, Angela, she says it surprises her because it's so vibrant and unexpected.
Oh, that's a good question. So it just goes back to the simple theory that I was trying to show earlier. So, for example, even if you look at blues, right, our automatic thought process is that it's a cool color. But check this out. Like then you have a blue that's more warm, and I think just keeping it simple like this is really, really important. And I've taken a few painting classes before, like in art center and stuff, and they all keep it like relatively simple. Just try to think about it as in color temperature and how it reacts to your environment under the certain like light scenario that your object's under. I hope that answers it.
I have to jump between like the behind the scenes YouTube studio stream settings and the original one because like the delay. So when we're talking live, Angela, it's not happening on the actual stream yet. So I'm like, oh, what's she talking about? I have to go back to where it's actually streaming through in the back end to have a look.
Thank you for doing this. I know it's really difficult moderating. It's exhausting.
No, it's fine. I have the two screens going. I can see what's happening in real time and in the actual stream. It's fine.
Cool. Phew. Good thing you're a pro.
But I try. I wouldn't call myself a pro. Uzeto Lucet says, do you have advice for people transitioning from traditional to digital painting?
Oh, so yes, I actually had a really hard time transitioning. So the thing that I did is I just try to really keep it simple. Like just think about it in terms of the limitations that maybe gouache would have or whatever medium you use, and just try to paint like that too. So maybe like try to lay in a wash and then build up shapes with a simple brush. Don't use like anything fancy and keep it simple. And just try to play with your different processes and see what works best for you. I don't, that's not super helpful, but I just really like to paint with blocks. And yeah, I think that has really helped me.
Kim wants to know, what's your favorite pigment?
Cobalt turquoise blue.
Oh, nice. Yes.
It's
very good.
Color.
I'm such a sucker for anything that's turquoise teal kind of area of the spectrum. It's like whenever I have the amazing Procreate graphic design team creating assets for social media, anything that's, if they've got like a couple options for me, anything that's teal or turquoise, I'm just like, that one. Did you even have to really ask me? Like, you knew what I was going to pick.
Totally relatable. And I love teal. Even though red's my favorite color, I don't know why I like teal so much. It just makes my eyes feel so nice.
So relaxing.
Yeah.
You find red difficult to paint with?
How? Like, what do you mean by difficult?
Well, I think I don't see a lot of red used as like a main color in art when I'm kind of just like hanging out online. It seems to me to be kind of like a hue that just doesn't, I don't know whether people don't like it that much or whether they just find it really difficult to paint with, but it seems to be something that doesn't appear hugely as like a main focus color in artwork. And it's just, I don't know why that is. I think, do you find it kind of, even though it's your favorite color, difficult to work with? Do you just prefer, as you said, working with teal because it's easier on the eye? Like,
I never thought about that. And then now that I'm thinking back to the locations I've been, there's not a lot of buildings or stuff that's red, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe because it looks angry. I don't know. But I feel like red's actually the easiest temperature or like hue for me to control in terms of temperature.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think it's so noticeable when it's different because you have colors like flame red, which is really warm. And then you have like something like magenta that's extremely cool. So I feel like for me, I think yellow is the most difficult to work with, which is why I've been trying to paint those yellow buildings. Yeah. How about you? Do you think red's the most difficult, or?
Oh, I mean, I also have not really thought about it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I use a lot of rainbow in my work just because
Yay.
I'm obsessed with color. So like red does appear in my work, but I feel like when it comes to the stuff that I paint, I feel personally like it doesn't have as big a range as like a blue section. Like it doesn't have that many versions for me, I guess, that I can pick through in terms of different values.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of how I feel. And then like I know that reds and pinks don't play well with Instagram, for example, when you're uploading it. They get crunched a lot
Wait, for
worse
real?
than yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yep,
my
pinks and
gosh.
reds, that sort of color area get crunched a lot worse than other colors when you're uploading.
I did not know
Um,
that. That's okay, guys. This is pro tip right here.
pro tip for social media, your pinks and reds will get crunched.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so yeah, I also wonder whether in the age of digital art and social media, people stay away from those hues a bit more because the quality doesn't get preserved when you upload them. I
Huh.
don't know.
Now I'm gonna go paint a red one just to see how the
Just to see.
the upload quality.
The art looks like a TV show.
My,
Yeah.
huh?
Sorry, there's
Oh,
someone in the comments
oh,
who's just said the art looks like a TV show.
oh, cool. Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to process what that meant.
It was kind of no context comment there. Oh, Alvin, I like blue. It makes me so sad.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Oh, Alvin's
okay.
a pun master, so I think he's trying to make a pun.
Okay. Happy Drago has turned up in the comments and they are spamming with love, which is the best kind of spam. Don't
Oh,
get me wrong. Like, I'm not upset
yay.
about this at all.
Thank you. Thank you. Love is always good. How's your painting going?
Mine, it's like I've not gotten any further than the sketch because I've been too busy
Okay, cool.
watching the stream. I think I'm gonna give it another shot later this afternoon, though. I might kind of sit here and see what I can do with it.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure it's going to be really cool.
Now that I've like locked myself in, I have to do it now. I have to do it. This is going to be like my one and only contribution to Plain April.
Can't wait to see it. Yes.
I really wanted to do Plain April. I was like, it's the same. We get like the art match that we do with Procreate every week, and then you see all the prompts ones like Dogist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I can't remember the name of the artist who started that, but she does Dogist, a dog breed every day for the month of August.
Whoa.
And it's just like every year I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and I just never get the time.
You're
Like,
so busy.
oh,
You work like 24/7. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's the weekend. I doubt that they'll respond. And you're like, hi, how can I help you? I'm always
I'm
amazed
still
at that.
here. Social media doesn't stop.
It
It's
doesn't.
fine. No,
Thank
it's
you for
okay.
answering all the questions. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Oh no, happy Drago. I didn't mean to stop. I'm just saying there's a lot of love in the chats. It's nice. You don't have to calm down. Oh, Maury asks, do you use or how do you use layer modes? Are they usually just normal? I guess they're
Yes.
asking if you use them.
I just used a little bit of color dodge here because I couldn't figure out how to get the color to work. But usually, no, I don't use them. And I'm just a very basic person. I just like to keep them at normal. I might try to adjust things towards the end. So I'll try to use some blending modes in the end just to maybe solidify or unify certain areas.
Mm. Oh, now they want to know in the chat, what is your least favorite pigment?
I think green, cause yeah, it's not because it's the complementary color of red, but I don't know. Wait, no, that's not true. I like nature. I don't know. Yellow, because I struggle with it the most.
Oh, my goodness. And we've just, first commission we worked on you with, we gave you something that was like yellow.
It's okay. The commissions are
Great.
fun. Just, yeah, I struggle with it.
Kim would like to know, this is a good question actually. I would like to know as well. How did you and the warrior painters come up with the idea of plain April?
Oh my gosh, it was so silly. So we were just at work, and me and my friends who like we managed this group kind of as like a team. So we started the group together when I was working at Warner Brothers, and they were just like, "Hey, Angela, wouldn't it be funny if we had a plein air challenge?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but what would you call it, and how would we do it, and which month would it be?" And they're like, "Well, Earth Days on April, and it kind of rhymes with plein air." And my friend Steve, who's really good at puns as well, he's like, "Dude, we should name it Plein Air Brawl." I'm like, "Wow, you're a genius." That's how it
Wow.
happened. Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah. Sorry if my storytelling's really bad because I'm trying to solve this and I'm just, it's like hard for me. And where did I put this tree stump? I can't find it.
Oh, that's lovely. Happy Drago says, "Oh my goodness, this is just so much fun. I actually got a burst of motivation, so I'm going to start drawing now."
Oh, I
That's
can't wait to
nice.
see. Yeah, you're gonna kill it.
If you jump onto any of our social media platforms, Happy Drago, so Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, there'll be a link to where you can actually download the reference photo that Angela's using and you can paint along if you want.
Yay. Do it, Happy Drago.
Alfredo would like to know, do you use black when you're painting with gouache or do you mix your blacks?
I know a lot of people are against it, but sometimes I do use it because I think I get stuck with mixing and I just want to push the values more. So yeah,
Mm.
I do use it. I'm gonna use the blending modes, even though I just said wouldn't use it, but um, blur. Because I want to make
Ah,
this feel more like it's kind of dappled and yeah, more blurred out.
a little bit of amazement in the comments here. LG 2006 says, "Wait, you worked at Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
Surprise!"
Yeah, it was cool because we would paint every lunch, and I just really miss those times. Miss hanging out with my friends and painting with them.
Mm. Are
What's
you mostly freelance these days?
I'm taking a break right now, so I'm just trying to get better at my own artwork. Yeah.
Alfredo says, "Thank you," in regards to the using blacks in your gouache.
Oh yeah, no problem. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I think that was a good question, actually. I think there's a lot of people get really up in arms about using um, uh, blacks and whites when it comes
Yeah.
to creating colors with traditional mediums, right? Like it's, I don't know, man, use whatever works for you.
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%.
Thanks for the origin story of plain April. Yes, I am also grateful for the origin story.
It's not super exciting, but you're welcome. And then I think we all really, especially working full time at a studio, you don't really get to go out and experience nature. So that's another reason why we all really love camping and just, yeah, going to national parks. So that was our excuse to go.
Oh, that's really nice.
Do you guys have a lot of national parks in Australia? I know like the land's really big, so.
Uh, I can't speak for Australia. I'm not super sure, but
Mhm.
definitely in Tasmania. I know this because as a dog owner, I can't take my dogs anywhere. So,
Yes.
like,
I can't take them
it's
here
really
too.
hard.
Yeah.
There's like a very small amount of places that you can take your dogs
Hmm.
in Tassie when you're out and about, because we have so many national parks. And that's like I'm not super upset about this. It's really fair because we have a lot of special environments and special animals here who get disturbed even by the smell of a dog.
Seriously?
Um,
Oh, I didn't know that
yeah,
was the reason. I thought they did that because people don't pick up the poop.
I mean, that's the case too. Yeah, definitely. There are so many irresponsible pet owners who
Hmm.
don't pick up after their dogs, but also people who don't train their dogs very well, so they don't have a good recall, so the dogs won't, like if they get caught up in a smell, they won't come back and they'll disturb the environment. Yeah, so we just don't, dogs aren't allowed many places because, yeah, they disturb the natural habitats for animals, and then it makes it really difficult for them to continue on with their lives, I guess.
Oh, I had no idea that's good to know.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely a lot of national parks. So Tassie's a beautiful place. There's so many cool places to explore.
Are people that live in Tasmania like really active?
Um, I don't know that I would say really active. There's definitely a lot of people who enjoy going out into nature and stuff, but like I guess when you look at like Tasmanians as a people, I wouldn't say that they were particularly active. Like when you compare us to somewhere like South Korea, for example, where like when I went to South Korea, I was amazed. Like everyone, it seemed, was like they had bushwalk, like hiking stores, like everywhere where you could go and buy your clothes for hiking and for outdoor activities. And then like every weekend, everyone's out going up the mountain and stuff. Like even the old people are out going up the mountains and everything. And I was just like, what is this magical place where people just go hiking all the time?
I feel lazy now.
Yeah, right. Like I was there and kind of unfit at that point, and I'm like trying to go up the mountain. I'm like, oh my God, this is so difficult. And there's this old lady who's just like powering up the mountain in her workout gear. And I'm just like, oh my God, how?
Oh my God.
Tig confirms for me, yes. She's a Tasmanian but lives on the mainland now. And yeah, the dog smells can upset the animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carino's always wanted to go to Australia. You should.
Dude, it's so cool. I love Australia.
It's great. I feel like I should travel around more. I haven't seen much of mainland Australia. I've seen like East Coast stuff. I haven't been central, north, or west though.
Where would you go like once the world like opens back up, or if it does?
I mean, that's a really hard question. I love traveling. The dogs are back from a walk, so hey guys, hello. I kind of like almost as a celebratory thing, and in my head, like I'll go as far as I can in one trip. Like I really, really want to go to, I guess, Iceland.
Yes.
Never been there. Really want to go, but it's so expensive to go from Australia. And super far north in Scandinavia. Like I want to go see the aurora. So yeah, just basically as far as I can, I guess, in the one travel.
Now, that's really far for you.
Yeah, for us, it's super far. Like when we go to events, back in the ye olden days when we could travel, when we went to art conferences and events in Europe, it was like all of our friends from America and from around Europe were like, oh, I traveled so far. Like it took me like 8 hours. Like, oh my God. And me and my workmates would just be like, oh, yeah, it took you so long, did it? Yeah. Okay, cool. 8 hours. Nice. And they're like, oh, how long did it take you? We're like over 40 hours. And they're like, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Depending on which flight path you get, it can take anywhere from like 30 to 40 hours from Australia to get to your final destination in Europe. Just because
oh my God.
Layover times and all of that. And you have to go like, usually, because we're in like right down the bottom, so we have to make that initial jump to mainland Australia. It usually takes like 4 flights or something for us to get there. So it's like Tasmania to mainland Australia, and then it's either mainland Australia to like Singapore, Hong Kong, or straight through to Dubai. And then you have to go to like London, and then you go to Europe.
Wow, we're learning so much, not just about art today, but it's crazy.
Just traveling. So yeah, it's like we rock up to these events and we're so tired and we've barely slept, and everyone's like, yeah, God, 8 hours. And we're just like, yeah,
You're like, be quiet, you babies.
Tell me about it. 8 hours, so long. Oh my goodness, like not even a whole day. Whoa.
How do you guys plan for events then? Like that sounds like so exhausting.
It is, but you get the energy once you get there again. Like it's so exciting and invigorating to be around so many creatives and people that you've spoken to online as well, you know, like you're meeting your online friends for the first time.
Do you guys have
Um,
like fanboys and fangirls? I'm sure you
oh,
guys do.
it's kind of weird. Yeah. It's like, it's not something that we kind of ever expected, I guess, but like people do come up to you and they're like, oh my God, Procreate. And you're just like, no, 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 your art. So cool, so cool. And they're like, no, you. And we're like, no, you. So it's kind of this little echo chamber of like, oh my God. And the energy comes up and then you go back and then you crash and sleep and then you come back and do it again. Like it's
Okay,
great.
how do you guys adjust to the jet lag?
Going over is actually usually, for me at least, I can only speak for myself, is usually pretty good. I can adjust my times. I just sleep in time with the area that we're going to. So if we get on the plane from Melbourne to Singapore and it's nighttime in Europe, I'll try and sleep on that flight and I'll try and adjust my sleep schedule as we fly. But usually on the way back, I'm so tired that I just sleep whenever I need to. And then I'm jet lagged when I get back to Australia, but I don't usually experience it when I get to Europe.
Wow. Is it because you're like just too excited that you want to explore too? So,
Yeah, that as well. Like it's always such an honor to be able to go and meet everyone, I guess, and be at those events that it's just the excitement is real. The hype is real.
oh man, I
But
miss
yeah.
traveling.
Yeah, so do I. So much. But I mean, I traveled a fair bit before I started working at Procreate as well, so I'd kind of gotten pretty good at setting myself up with time zones and sleeping.
Damn, I'm still really bad at that. I just come home and crash.
Yeah, Tig says we travel a lot being so spread out in Australia. People don't realize how big it is. It's the same size as North America or Europe and the UK together. Yeah,
I
Australia
know.
is actually really big.
Yeah, when me and Kaylee went to Adelaide, she was like, "Oh, it's not that big, is it?" And, the people that invited us over, they're like, "Dude, it's the same size as America." We're like, "No way!" And then
Wait,
we saw a
what?
comparison, and we're like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's huge."
Yep. Same size, just the map makes it look so small.
Yeah, because you guys are like by yourselves. So yeah,
Yeah. They're like, ah, it's a country by itself. We just squash that down, make room for the rest. No, it's actually really, really huge. It's yeah, definitely an interesting place. I'd love to see, especially like Central and the Northern Territory in Australia. I think that would be really cool. The landscape, from what I've seen, is just completely unlike anywhere else, really.
I can't. Yeah, I
Um,
want to see it so bad. It looks so beautiful.
yeah, it's pretty cool. My dad usually he goes. I don't. Yeah, I mean, he didn't last year. Usually he goes on like a bit of a boys' trip with his friends and like gets a Land Rover or a Range Rover and like an old one, and they drive from like Melbourne up through the Central to the Northern Territory, and they camp each night in different places, and then they come back and they do it for like a week. And the photos he gets, he usually comes back and like makes us a calendar of his trip around Australia every year, which is hilarious. It has a different theme each year.
That's so cute.
But like the landscape is just incredible. Like just so much contrast in the oranges of the earth and the bright blues of the sky, and it just stretches on forever.
I saw those pictures and I was like, I need to go there one day.
Happy Drago, do you see kiwi birds ever? Not in Australia. Kiwi birds are in New Zealand, which is our neighbor, which is why we call New Zealanders Kiwis.
Kiwi bears are really cute.
So cute. Ah, Lol in the comments says, yes, Kiwis are only in New Zealand. Lol would know everyone because Lol is a Kiwi. Ultraviolet Dank says, what inspires you, Angela?
Um, just looking on Instagram, and sorry about my dogs, seeing everyone's artwork really inspires me. I think I was kind of hitting a art block right before playing airball, but you guys whipped me back into shape. So that really helps when you have a community of people, and trying different apps also really inspires me too, because I really like the struggle of learning something new. And yeah, traveling, and special moments in my life. I guess every time I try to paint a painting, those things usually have a special meaning to me. So I find those, just reliving those moments, to be really inspiring as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think having a good community around you is really important.
I know, like, I think without my friends, I would have like been crying this whole pandemic. So
Oh,
yeah.
oh, the rain is coming down here now.
Oh man. It's so hot
So
here right
cold
now.
today. I know that it's like, I mean, I guess everyone gets this, but like the main audience for Procreate Online is US based pretty much. So like whenever we come out of summer and we go into winter and you guys are all like, "Oh, the weather's so nice." And I'm like, "Shut up. No.
Oh
It's
man.
so cold here near Antarctica at the end of the world."
Does it snow there a lot, or like just everywhere in Tasmania?
Only certain places. We get snow on the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you earlier this morning when we were setting up, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure we were meant to have snow on the mountain in Hobart today, but now it's raining, so it's probably just all turned to slush and yuck. Um, but it's very, very rare for snow to actually come like further down to ground level.
Mm-hmm.
I think since I've lived in Hobart, there's only been one time where the snow actually came down nearly to sea level,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in 2015. And I woke up one morning and like my car and the backyard and everything was covered in a blanket of snow. It was just like, as someone who's not experienced that before, really, I was like, wow, oh my God, the snow. Ah. And like just photos, just taking so many photos. I think I still have that photo of my car covered in snow from that one time that Hobart got snow.
Sounds so
Um,
cold.
it's
Yeah.
really cold, but super exciting.
Los Angeles, you could see snow in the mountains sometimes, but it didn't rain too
Mm.
much this year, so that kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks
Oh,
that it
sucks,
didn't
yeah.
rain.
Oh, because like
Oh,
it doesn't usually rain here, and we're usually like in a drought. So
oh,
yeah.
yeah, fair. Okay, I was kind of like, "Well, I hate the rain. Why would anyone be upset that it didn't rain?" But then like, yeah, kind of thinking back to the times I've been to LA, and it's been just so, I guess, muggy.
Yeah, don't you love the yellow, Los Angeles yellow?
Oh yeah,
It makes cool sunsets though, so I could say
oh,
that. Yeah.
totally amazing
Pollution.
inspiration.
So I'm just trying to break a few things down a little bit more. I think the reflectivity of the car looks okay. I might go back in and add a little bit more. But this is how I work. I focus on an area. I tell myself, okay, like this is a pretty good finish. And then I leave it alone and then I work on everything else. And yeah, I just go back and forth.
Oh, Kim says we didn't have rain for over 250 days in Las Vegas. Oh,
Oh my
goodness.
gosh. Are you guys in a drought, Kim? Or droughts suck?
Mm. Yep.
Yep.
Australia can be pretty prone to those. Not so great.
Oh
Poor
man.
farmers.
Yeah. And animals.
Yeah, definitely. Not good for our wildlife.
And then the fires have been like really crazy in Los Angeles, so that's not good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it was so bad last year. The air was scary.
Oof. Was it really close to where you guys were?
Thankfully no, but I know a few people that were affected by it, and it's really sad. I think some of them lost their houses too.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
It's heartbreaking.
yeah. I know I went over an hour. Sorry, guys.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Our streams usually go for a bit over an hour anyway.
Okay.
That's all good.
Phew.
Oh, Kim says, yeah, they told us we could only water our lawns once a week.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
fair. Anthony says LA just needs a big hug.
A
That's
big
also
hug?
fair. Big
Why?
hug. Happy Drago is melting in the hot desert south of US.
Oh
Oof.
man, no
Melting
fun.
is not good. When the heat gets to melting point, it's too much.
I know. Yeah, yeah, totally. I think I could almost call this done because another thing that I like to do is like contrast the more finished areas to like the lesser finished areas.
Mm.
But let's see how I can make it look slightly more finished. When you're working, do you listen to anything, Georgie?
Um, it depends on what mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I am so ashamed to admit that a lot of the time when I'm drawing and sketching, I will have some really just brain melting reality TV on in the background. Just it's yeah, really bad. The stuff that you can like feel your brain cells dying
90 Day
while you're
Fiance?
watching it. Pardon?
90 Day Fiance or
No, I haven't seen that, but I think at the moment, because of the new streaming services that I have just bought into, I this is shamefully airing my faults to the world. Keeping up with the Kardashians,
oh my
yeah,
gosh, nice. Nice.
like so just so brain melting, just like yelling at the TV, sort of my brain is dying level. Um, so yeah, usually that in the background while I'm painting. If not that, I kind of change between early 2000s, late 90s punk rock music
Oh, nice.
or specifically baby metal, the Japanese um, metal band with singing in it and stuff. I just, yeah,
I think
really
my
unique.
I think my Australian friend told me about them, and she said she like would listen to them and go to like mosh pits or something like that. I don't know what
Yeah,
they. Yeah. So
they're actually really good. Like, they combine um, typical like J-pop girly singing voices with like heavy metal. It's
oh man, I gotta check them out
it's
now.
really cool, really good. I love their stuff. Yeah, so it's a mix of those three things. Uh,
Damn, that's cool.
yeah, sorry to everyone who thinks less of me because I watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians while I'm drawing. Oh goodness. Monique says I love Australian reality TV. Australian reality TV is a whole thing of its own, really. That's
Wait,
oh
what's like a
goodness.
really well-known one?
I think the one at the moment. I don't know if you guys have a version of this in the US. Married at First Sight,
That
which
sounds like a really bad idea.
right, such a bad idea, such a bad idea. Like I really don't understand how there can be so many. Sorry to, we shouldn't get political on the stream, but like how there can be so much uproar about marriage rights, yet we will marry two strangers on television for the enjoyment of people. Like I don't get it. It's the worst TV show. It sounds maybe just from the names, it sounds maybe similar to 90 Day Fiance. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow. Sounds
yeah, so
very like
that's
there's a lot of drama.
oh the worst. Just so much drama. Like even more than The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Like it's just insane.
Oh man, I'm gonna secretly
So
check it out after the stream.
I think you'll probably regret it. Just would not recommend. So yeah, maths. That's the abbreviation of that one. I'm coming up with a blank now on specifically Australian reality TV. Maybe any fellow Aussies in the comments can jump in and remind me of what's about. I tend to stay away from it these days because I just got to a point where I could not handle that level of drama anymore and just like bitchiness, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like
like,
my life has enough of that. I
yeah, I
can't.
don't need any more of it. Oh, The Block. That's a good one. Thanks, lol. Yeah, The Block is great.
What
The
is
Block
that
is
about?
like it's been around for ages. It's like where the TV show they buy up like a block of houses or whatever, and then you have teams of couples who have to go in and renovate the houses. and then sell them, and whoever sells it for the highest at the end wins. So yeah, that's been around for absolutely ages. That's slightly less drama, and it's not like catty drama, like people fighting each other really when there is drama. It's like, oh, I didn't schedule my tradesman to come in at the right time, or oh, I spent too much money and then I tried to scam someone else out of their budget.
Oh my
Whoops.
God.
Sort of like levels of drama. So it's really good.
I feel like if Kaylee and I were on that show, we would fight so much. We would be constantly on the camera.
God. Oh, what are some of your favorite reality TVs for the US?
I don't watch a lot of TV, but because I have a really bad habit. Like once I watch something, I'm like, wait, Kaylee, one more episode. And then, it's like 5 a.m. So I try to stay away from that stuff because I really can't control it when I'm watching TV.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think at the moment that's like me and my partner, we're rewatching all of Criminal Minds.
Oh my God, me and Kelly watched that too. I love that show.
It's so good.
It's
so good. And we're just like, I think we're at just finished season 12.
Oh my gosh, we're on
last
season
night.
12 too.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Great season. Like with Reed going into the prison and like, oh, what?
Yeah.
All of that. Anyway, sorry guys.
Wait, okay, real question though. Who's your favorite character?
Oh, that's really hard. I do have a soft spot for Spencer Reed. Like who doesn't?
Yeah,
honestly.
true. He's bomb.
I was really gunning for Hodge there for a second because he was like one expression the entire time,
Yeah.
which was hilarious to us. But then he, apparently got kicked off of the show.
Oh my God, I read why because I was so curious. And
Yeah,
'cause
right?
he kicked the writer or something.
Yeah, because he was a total asshole to the cast and crew when he was directing that one episode, and they were like, "Nah, man, get out."
See ya.
And just like had him go into witness protection off screen.
Yeah. I was like, oh
no more
man,
Hodge.
this is really bad.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, he must have really stuffed up to be kicked off screen. Like, whoa. So, yeah, that's how real. But it's funny. Like, I didn't realize how many people watch Criminal Minds. I was like at work the other day and I heard one of our financial team like talking to the other one in the office next door. She was like, Criminal Minds. And I like jumped out. I was like, did I hear someone say Criminal Minds? I was like, this whole thing, like there's this whole underground community of people who just happen to also watch Criminal Minds.
It's a really good show. I'm gonna watch it.
Really good show. So sorry guys. Just like tangents completely throughout this stream. Just like talking about dogs, talking about Criminal Minds and reality TV. Goodness.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think this is going okay. I might just add a few more final touches afterwards, but I don't know if anybody has questions for me.
Is there any more questions, guys? Put them in the chat quickly. Someone is very happy to hear the birds in the background.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. No, it's a good thing. We like birds.
Everyone's
birds
like,
relaxing.
are you like a Sleeping Beauty? I'm like, no.
Snow White
Yeah.
bringing the animals in. Like, yes. Tig confirms the block would have to be the least crap of all Australian reality shows.
Okay,
I think
look
I
on
would
YouTube.
probably confirm that.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out after this.
Iwado says, do you have a YouTube, Angela?
I do, but I don't really update anything. But I mean, I might start posting a few things, like just some quick videos.
Yeah. Procreate time lapses are great for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes.
I can't fit Procreate in here, but Pro will do.
Oh, look, you know what? Dunlapison actually says that you didn't tell us who your favorite Criminal Minds character was. So,
Oh, okay. Who is that really hot guy that left?
not Morgan.
Yes, Morgan.
Yes.
I really like
I
him.
totally forgot about Morgan because he's been out of the show for a couple seasons now. He was great.
Oh my gosh, I like the scene where they poured that weird chemical down his chest. So,
Oh,
yeah.
My God, he went through so much pain.
I
It
know.
was like I loved him though because just every episode he tackled the unsub. Like every episode, it was like his thing. Like
Yeah,
in coming up to like the climax of the show,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Adam and I are sitting on the couch going, "Tackle him, Morgan!"
No,
And he
Kaylee,
like,
Kaylee was like, "Oh my God, poor Morgan, he's gonna do it again." But it was crazy. Like I really like that episode because they showed you how to like train your mind and just I thought
yeah,
that was really cool.
absolutely.
Yeah. He was one of my
Oh,
favorites. He was awesome.
he was a great character.
Yeah.
I was quite sad when he left.
I know why.
The guy they brought in to kind of be that same person to bounce off Garcia with, uh, Alvarez. He's fine. He's
Yeah.
not quite the same as Morgan though.
Yes, agreed.
Anya says, "Yeah, I love Garcia." Yeah, Garcia is a great
Garcia
character.
is so cute. I love her. My dogs. Sorry. Okay, so I'm just adding a few more like details. Like I don't. What do you call that texture on the ground? I don't know. But trying to indicate so it recedes in space. Like this is another great tool to have when you're trying to imply space. So yeah.
Oh, Tig says the color shift in the car's window. It was done way earlier. How was it done? Her screen froze and she missed it.
Oh, which part, like specifically?
Color shift in the car's window. Could you clarify for us, Tig? I'm sure she will in a second.
Our birds will fill in the
Bye,
empty ones.
Happy Drago.
Bye, Happy Drago. Thanks for tuning in.
They say it was so much fun here. I'm glad you had fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Lizzie says, how do you practice perspective?
A really good exercise. So I teach a background class, and one thing that I tell the students to do is when you guys are walking or just doing anything, try to identify where your horizon line is and just see how everything is interacting with that. Because it's something that we don't usually think about. We don't think about like, oh, here's our horizon line. Like even though it's your eye level, you really don't think about it. So just try to like put just be more active about identifying it when you're walking or just doing your daily activities.
Mm.
Cool. I think I'm just about done. Maybe one more bloom. Oh, I saw you guys have the bloom function, and I tried it. It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All the new filters are so much fun.
Yeah, it's
Painting
so
them on
awesome.
specifically with Apple Pencil, so cool.
Yeah, I think this is too much. A little bit. Then I like to transform it so it's not that obvious. Yeah, cool. Whoops. I don't know if there's like any other questions or anything else someone would like to ask. But
Anything else before we end up the stream, guys? Let us know in the comments. It makes everything better. Yeah.
it does.
Maury says, what should I focus on when I'm doing plein air? Is it to get it as accurate as I can, or what should I pay attention to for efficient studying?
That's a really, really great question. So the best thing that I could recommend that I feel like worked for me was just finding things that appeal to you. So whether it's color or shape, always ask yourself, like, okay, why did I choose this location in the first place? And how could I exaggerate the interest or the features that I like about this location? And if you ask yourself a lot of the questions in the beginning, it'll make your time painting in person a lot easier because you'll have at least some of the questions figured out. So just try to ask yourself, like maybe today you'll focus on lighting. Maybe the day after you'll focus on shapes. So try to isolate certain things that interest you, and then the more you work on it, you get better. You can then combine it with a secondary thing that interests you in terms of painting, and you just keep building up your skill level like that. I feel like that really worked for me.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, Tig's come back. She's clarified. She meant shadow, the big shadow in the foreground of the piece. How did that color shift change from earlier in the piece?
Oh, I just layered it. Like I call them zones of shadows, and then I kind of like smudged it a little bit, and then I didn't like the way it felt, so I had to use the hue, saturation, brightness to get it to feel right.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
That's almost done. Yeah, maybe a few more touches and afterwards, but thank you so much for having me do this.
Thank you for joining us. Cool, guys. I think we'll end up there. Just to do our final outros and stuff, of course, you can follow Angela on social media on Instagram at Ango the Mango. Her Instagram and her regular website are linked in the description for the video, as well as her brush set if you want to buy the brushes that she's been using today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your questions. If you've been drawing along, please don't forget to tag both Angela and Procreate so that we can see it on our social media. This video will be re-uploaded later, and we'll let you know on social media when it's available so that you can watch it back and paint along again if you'd like. Yeah. And I think that's it from me. Anything to add at the end, Angela?
No, just thank you for spending Saturday or Sunday with me. And I know some of you guys are staying up late, so I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had fun and learned something. And yeah, I can't wait to see all your drawings and paintings later. Thanks for having me, Procreate.
And don't forget to join in on Plain April if you haven't already.
Yes. Yes.
Go to the Warrior Painters Instagram page, same handle, Warrior Painters, and you'll be able to find all the info there. If you join in and paint for all of the 30 days, I don't know if you're allowed to like catch up. Are you allowed to catch up, Angela?
No. Sorry,
dang.
Guys.
Oh, man. If you haven't joined in from the beginning, you won't be eligible for the prizes, unfortunately. But it's a really great learning opportunity and a great little community to join in with. So definitely do so if you haven't already, guys.
Yeah, it's for the glory. Right. Cool.
Yes, exactly. The glory and the learning.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. Thank you so much, Angela, for joining us. It has been fantastic watching you draw and listening to your thoughts on Criminal Minds and
thank you.
Dogs and traveling. Lovely. And we'll talk to all you guys again later.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.